Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment you made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
And everything. You have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
No way.
What grade?
That one had to go. Yes. Because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome everyone and welcome back to All In, All United here now. It's been a while since, we had a pod, these kind of pop-up pods now, but, most times it's after a game and we'll have the customary therapy session. But Chef messaged this morning and say, Reem, we gotta have a pod this evening.
I want to know what's the reason why. I know we discussed the Leeds game already, so I must have missed something. I must have missed something today, but I'm here to discuss what y'all want to discuss. So I got Internet Explorer here in Canada, right? So,
well, nothing was official when we talked yesterday, Phil. So we're talking more facts today, and that's why we're here. So. Let me do the comunicado oficial, and then we could get into discussions, right? So, the official statement from the club, that was this morning, read that Ruben Amorim has departed his role as head coach of Manchester United, and we had a big discussion about that role. So I saw what Man United did in identifying that and kind of pointing it out, right? So he departed his role as head coach of Manchester United. Ruben was appointed in November 2024 and led the team to a Europa League final in Bilbao in May. With Manchester United sitting sixth in the Premier League, the club's leadership has reluctantly made the decision that it's the right time to make a change. This will give the team the best opportunity of a highest possible Premier League finish. Right, the club would like to thank Ruben for his contribution to the club and wishes him well in the future. Right, so we had myself, Phil, and Simeon. We had a lengthy discussion with the post-match presser from Amorim. And it's no surprise. It's no surprise that we are now here without a manager, right? So, fellas, let me just put some stats out there. Now, I will try as best as possible not to sway the opinions or to know my stand, right? But I just want to put some stuff out there, and then we'll get into it, right? Amorim, right? He has the worst win ratio.
I swear I know this by heart without even watching a paper now, But go ahead.
Right? The worst goals conceded per game ratio, which is 1.53, the lowest clean sheet ratio, right, of any of the Manchester United managers post-Ferguson. Right? In the Premier League, he played 47 games, 15 wins, 13 draws, 19 losses. That's a 31.9% win rate. 66 goals scored, 72 goals conceded. So, Alia, I think this, where we at right now, in my opinion, maybe should have happened earlier, but the writing was on the wall. So, guys, I know it have a lot to unpack. I know, it have people who've seen it differently, but Chef, I want to start with you. Where do you stand on this decision?
Let me ask a question before I answer, because I want everything. Because tonight going to have a lot of emotions, and I want us to put emotions aside tonight, and just let me think a little bit logical for once. So I want to ask one question, right? You just quote Amorim's stats. After Amorim, who is the statistically worst coach since Fergie?
Are you thinking Moyes? It's not Moyes?
Moyes, it should be Moyes, right?
I think so. I can't say it for sure, but I think based on memory, it could be Moyes.
Okay, cool.
Or
And-
possibly this guy, Ragnick. I don't know.
And I want to believe even them won at least 50% of the games. At least. Or just below. Yeah?
I guess.
Give or take? Okay, cool. So let me move on now. Let me move on. Was there a question again, brother?
Yeah. So what I would like to find out from you guys is where do you stand on the decision of the club? Right? We have a lot of different takes. We have a lot of different, some people feel that, perhaps the manager was hard done, he wasn't backed. And then we have the people like me who felt that this was a long time coming. So I just want to know where you stand with it. And we have some quotes from some reputable sources that I just want to go through as well to give context, right? But go through now. So your thoughts on the SACKED?
Well, let me start by saying, just like you all, I had to believe it was the writing was on the wall. Just because it's a business. Let me be real, it's a business. And if you have somebody running your business and not giving you profits, let me put it like that, not bringing wins, then as much as you want to believe and you want to preach that are giving them back in, I still want to see some direction. And in my opinion, we wasn't seeing, men will argue it, but I just was not seeing Amorim's direction. I was just seeing a manager who is stubborn. And as a coach, I was just seeing a head coach who was very stubborn in his ways. He's very set. This is how I want to do things, and I'm not willing to change for nobody because all you hire me to do my work. Now, that being said, in my opinion, though, the timing of this firing was bad. It should have been done already. If that was the thinking, it should have been done already. Man, you wait till he finished 15th place. When he got the team, we were in 14th place. He finished 15th. This year, statistically, has been an improvement because, so far we up to 6th. It's been up and down. But if we put stats aside, this team has not looked good. Then we could count on one hand how much good 90 minutes of football we've gotten from this team. And I think probably one game. So half a season gone, we're not playing any mid-season games, just league games. We don't get kicked out of one of the cups. And the football's so poor, boy. Now, again, we go on to say, because I know some of the arguments going to be that we up to 6th and all that. But let me be real. We have been scraping by. Bro, we just went through a period in December when we should have won every one of those games. Bro, we lost against a 10-man Everton. We couldn't beat Leeds. We couldn't beat Wolves. We get beat from that one was a draw against Bournemouth. That was for the lowest placed teams. And men want to argue that it's hard to justify giving a manager or coach or whoever the hell they want to put in more time. And then you're so bossy. And I was telling McGill, I was telling other people today, one of the things that we admire about Amorim, I feel, is what ultimately got him fired. Bro, you can't be so emotional. He's a Manchester United manager. He's a top flight manager. And as much as the emotion is what drives you, you have to know that, bro, me ain't doing that good, So to say I go in a press conference with all our big balls and call out my bosses and them, but you real out of place, bro. I know men going to disagree, and that's fine because that's what we're here for. But that's just my opinion. I can't be on probation, barely skating by, and still had the balls to call out my bosses and them. So yeah, that's just my opinion, brother. That thanks for everything, Amorim. I really wanted it to work out, but we move on.
And I'm glad, Chef, you say that last part, because the last thing I wanted to do, because I mean, no shade at nobody, but I was getting messages today, you know, that's in the frame that, well, you get what you wanted, you know, you're happy now, and it wasn't that, you know. My interest is the club. My best interest is the club, you know. So the fact that the manager, it didn't work out for Amorim is not like a good thing for me, right? Because I wanted Amorim to work, you understand? But I saw enough to make my determination, and here we are, right? I remember, guys, at the start of the season, I had said that with the kind of season Amorim had last season, he would have used up all his grace, so he had to come proper this
we
season.
said that, we agreed to that.
You understand? So he had to come proper, and bar the games that I could count on one hand, right? I don't think, you know, I was satisfied with what I was seeing. Now, it's our next thing I just want to mention before I move on to you guys, is this argument about, you know, why you will fire a manager who doing so well. When you look at the table, we 6th, right? But I challenge you to do one thing. Go back and look at the table, and I want you to observe that we are also only 4 points off 14th. All right, so we're sitting in 6th, but we're 4 points off 14th. So that is us losing one game, right? And the teams below us possibly winning, right? So the table, as it looks right now, we're sitting in 6th. But I kept saying that the way of the league going, the table is not a good measure to tell whether there's improvement or progress from the team. Go through, Simeon.
Nah, I was gonna wait, but I mean, everything y'all saying, I mean, we get the same information and we see it differently. You know, I ain't gonna argue with anybody saying Amorim should get fired. That is clear. You know, my own issue was I want to know, as I always want to know. I want to know what's going on in the back, you know, in back offices. I want to know if who's making the signings. I want to know if Amorim getting his, you know, his signings before in last January, last summer. This, you know, I want to know what's going on in the back. But we kind of know those things. But yes, Amorim deserves to be fired based on performance. Clearly, that's not even up for discussion. You know, the issue, you know, here, you know, why did he get fired? You know, my issue is, why did he get fired? He ain't get fired because, you know, at least he didn't get fired today because he was, you know, a bad coach. He get fired because he run him out. Why he run him out? I mean, I think Amorim was the same thing, the same, you know, way, you know, they was tired. Amorim was tired of them. You know, Karim say, you know, we 4 points away from 14th, you say?
Yeah, we're sitting 6th, but we're 4 points away from 14, falling to 14th place.
If you watch the next like 6 fixtures, what looking like?
City, Arsenal, Burnley, who again we have, boy, just now.
To put things into what Simeon trying to say, and what I've been trying to tell people every day, you see that 6th place, all they're talking about, we could easily end up after that run of games in the relegation zone.
And and I think I can say I feel, but I know Ineos ain't trying to fire Amorim, or they ain't trying to fire him now. They're probably gonna wait till he 14th or he 15th, or they're gonna wait as long as they could to fire that man.
Yeah,
they're gonna wait as long as they could. I think Amorim. I mean, I think if Amorim fired himself, I think Amorim was like, you know what? I see the writing on the wall. Because one thing about Amorim, one thing he said in the beginning, once he realized that he couldn't move this team to where he wanted to move it, he's gonna leave. But he ain't gonna leave for free. He had more sense than that. That's why you see all them pictures of Amorim smiling and he coaches smiling because they don't get a nice paycheck. I mean, this club and this board, you put all them stats out. He was doing all that, and he was still here. Ratcliffe talking about 3-year process. And he was getting these sneaky wins here. These pitiful draws. And club was silent. You didn't hear nothing from the club. Barada ain't saying nothing. Who else was it? Will Cox didn't say nothing. The man was just quiet, happy, just go about the business, But as soon as he say, hey, them fellas up there ain't doing their job. Next day, and I can't sit here and argue for Amorim because a lot of his coaching moves I didn't like. I think it was a mistake by the board to bring him here, knowing what they plan to do as far as recruiting and their financial situation. It was a mistake. He should have never been here. Back 3 in the Premier League, a tough thing to do if you're not going to commit fully to it. And I don't care, I am 80%, 85% sure Amorim was not backed in the summer, for good or bad. You can't tell me that a manager believes in his 3-4-3 system and he ain't get a midfielder or a good wing back, or I can't. It doesn't make sense to me. Either way, Amorim gone, but we still have the board here. We still have the people who as soon as a manager says something bad about them, they fire them. They could play all kind of shit. You can do whatever. The team could lose to Grimsby. I still getting Grimsby updates to this day on my phone. To this day, Grimsby updates, and they ain't gonna blink an eye. You hardly hear a comment. But as soon as they say, "Hey, them fellas up there ain't doing their job," next day, them fellas care more about their reputation than the club. Until that changes, we'll be where we are.
Yeah.
Very interesting point, Simon. I'm gonna get some comments real quick and then we'll go to Phil. Right, Kristen, welcome, buddy. Adrian Duncan on the inside, thanks for joining and good night to you, man.
Good night, brother.
Right, Torres on the inside, good night, thanks for joining. He's saying here he couldn't handle the media well and he was too young of a manager for a job like that. All right. So Phil, you hear the thoughts of Simeon, you hear the thoughts of Chef. Where do you stand on the decision of the club?
I saw a comment posted on X by some guy. I don't know who he is. And he said that Amorim was sacked because he stood up to the board and not because of results. No, if you had left it at Amorim was sacked because he stood up to the board, fair enough. But then you add on that last part, not because of results, that is where I know you are totally deluded and you're putting emotion before logic.
That's right.
So here's the thing. Let me use more. Let me use real life scenario. Let's say I can use Chef again. Let's say Chef hire me, and every single day I come into work late, but chef allowing it. Chef allowing it because me and chef, we is we. But then all of a sudden I start gossiping about chef and talking shit behind the man back. Or in front of the customers that come in towards the stalls to buy food or whatever, and chef they on the side listening in to me. If chef don't fire me, they say it on the spot or the next day, well, chef had to be a real idiot. If chef don't fire me for talking shit in front of his face or behind his back, and I come into work every single day late, chef had to be a real idiot. Anyway, we get back to football. We all know that football is a results business. We all know that when it came to Ruben Amorim, it was all about this sweet talk, right? And some people drank the Kool-Aid of Ruben Amorim. I didn't. I took it up from the refrigerator in the grocery store, looked at it, and put it back down. That's what I did, right? This is an instance of somebody open the coffin for you, and instead of you backing away from the coffin, you step in the coffin and you dug your own grave. From the time you start talking out to the board of one of the biggest franchises in the world, don't expect to have a job the next day. And you know what's gonna spoil his reputation? Everybody can see that you talked out against Manchester United. Other clubs are going to be skeptical about hiring you right now because this guy is shameless in talking bad about the higher ups of Manchester United. What he could do when he get hired, if I had to hire him at my club, he could do the exact same thing. That wasn't professional by Ruben Amorim. There's some things that must be kept internal, right? And I also must mention stats don't tell the entire story because everybody can see that we are sixth place, but that sixth place could have easily been 10th, but also that sixth place could have easily been third or fourth, right?
Yep.
By the end of the day, Ruben Amorim is getting what he deserves, right? Now, a lot of people were talking about, similar to how people messaged you about if you're happy now, Reem, and you're satisfied. You know, the one question I realized that the Ole inners and the Amorim inners and the Ten Hag inners, you know the one question they always have to ask you, who you gonna replace him with? That's not my problem.
That's not for us to find out.
That is not my problem. I don't care who they replace him with once they replace him, right? Because at the end of the day, there's a saying that goes, in order to add to your life, you must subtract. And if Manchester United are to move forward past this this bad patch of form and being a banter club that we're in right now, somebody, what you guys saying, Trinidad, is neck bust or head bust?
Neck cut.
Yeah, nah, neck get us. Your neck get us.
Your
Yeah.
neck, your neck get
Your
bust.
bossy
Your
neck.
throat get bust.
Your throat get us. Your throat get
Throw
us.
get bust right now. The throat,
What's the
so
throat?
as you guys would say, between Amorim and the players, the manager will always be more expendable. You got to
course.
realize that, right? And your writing was also on the wall when you start to show signs from previous managers where you have favoritism in the team.
Mhm.
You also are stubborn, and you're also looking to play certain formations that have not yielded the results that you wanted, right? So, all the best to Ruben Amorim in his future endeavors. Some people have sent me videos and pictures of him smiling and what's not, and the whole staff at Manchester United, or the coaching staff at Manchester United is smiling. They're smiling. I'm smiling. There's a win-win for both of us, I guess, right? So,
yeah. Before Kristen jump in, right? I just want to respond and just give my take on respond to Simeon on a point Simeon make. I really do think that the comments were the saying, the straw that broke the camel back. I think that is what the comments did. I think Amorim was on borrowed time for a while. Right? I think Amorim was on borrowed time because when you read all the reports that are coming out, and a lot of them, the factual ones, the true ones will be corroborated, right, from the various sources. A lot of them were saying that Amorim was under pressure to adapt his system to the players. And I don't know if I realize that it had some little tension there, because you would see Amorim would start a game with a back four, then he would change to a back three. And that, those things kind of gave me the idea that perhaps Amorim trying to send a message that he's not going to adjust what he was brought in to do, right? So and the reason why the board or Wilcox or whoever was that person would have come to him and made the suggestion to adjust your system now, consider being more adaptable to your players. It's because the results were not good. It's because we were not seeing the kind of improvement and progress within the team, the style of play, the results that we wanted. So this is why I am saying I think the sacking was close, but the comments made from the manager is what just tipped it over. So I slightly, disagree with Simeon in that, he was lost in all the time and they didn't do nothing. And then when he come and say it, they sack him. So he was sacked because of the comments. I think we probably seen the same thing, but I just really believe that the comments is just the one that tip it over. But that sacking, it was hanging over his head. And I really feel even if he stayed on with the way he was going, without having that outburst in the press conference. If he had lost versus City, if he had lost versus Arsenal, I think we may have seen a response similar to what we're seeing now. Anyway, go through, Kristen.
I agree with Simeon. I think if there was a fire, because the result would have happened long time ago. There was always saying 3 years and all kind of things. Because of the outburst, that is why they sacked him. And when you look at the decisions since Ineos came, right, they gave Ten Hag a 3-year contract, right, after winning the FA Cup. And then they get Dan Ashworth. They literally sacked Ten Hag, 3 months into the 3rd season, had to pay off big money. Then they get rid of Dan Ashworth because some disagreement they had with them. They had to pay a big payoff. You went and got a manager with a totally different philosophy. He ain't really back his philosophy, and then you're going to fire him. And then I think Amorim had to get like 20-something million.
9 million.
No, but like with all the backroom staff, and it's like 20-something million. Let's just look at the amount of money that's spent, right? And then they say the club don't have money to make signings and stuff like that now. When you look at Ineos at Nice, because I was seeing some stats today, they sacked about 8 or 9 managers in the past 4 years.
You mean Nice?
Yeah, OGC Nice, yeah. They sack about, on that Ineos, they sack about 8 or 9 managers and how much money they spend in payoff. So at the end of the day, we go, I mean, Amorim, the results wasn't good, right? But sacking him is not the solution, because I think that what the owners want is a puppet that they could control. Somebody who could just there to take the blame and stuff like that, because the decision is poor. we going to sign somebody else or get interim and sign somebody else on a big contract, and if the results go that way, they go and sack him the same way. Like it have no knowledge behind, like, because they had Ten Hag and then they went after Amorim, it was totally different. And as Simeon say, you could have seen last season we needed the for that formation to play, you need wing backs, you need a proper midfield, and it wasn't done. And from what I was seeing, they wanted to sell Xerxes, they wanted to sell Ugarte because they're getting sales for them, right? But they didn't want to make no January signings. How could you, this squad already depleted, how could you get rid of players and then not sign nobody? And that is where the breakdown was. Because he literally say he cannot let these players go unless they get reinforcement, and the club don't want to sign anybody.
I'm not sure that information accurate in how you deliver it, right? Now, let me look at something here, Kristen, right? And it come from credible sources, right? So I pulled this one from Paul Hulse, and he's an insider at United, right? He said the cracks between Ruben Amorim and the board started to appear 6 weeks ago when United began a run of 3 wins in 9 matches. Even though none of their opponents were top draw, the board felt that United should have beaten Everton, West Ham, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Leeds, and Bournemouth. If they had done so, they would have been level with City and Aston Villa. So the point I'm making, right? I'm not disagreeing with the fact that the manager made comments that as owners you wouldn't want to encourage, right? Because he questioned whether he true or he lied. You can't set that precedent, right? But the point I'm making is it comes down to the results and the performance. And I'm telling you, there were conversations. Everything has a cause and effect. The reason why Wilcox stepped in to talk to Amorim about changing the system was because the team was not performing, right? If the team was performing, then that conversation would have never happened, right? And Phil and Chef made an analogy earlier. If I bring you in and I give you certain things, I expect you to make good use of it. I am not going to invest more in you if you're not working and making what I give you, if you're not putting it to good use. So you see this whole thing about the club didn't back the manager. I don't want to buy that, simply because the title that you came to the club with is head coach, which means that you're supposed to be able to use the tools that you have, right, and bring them to perform at a certain level, right? If the club would come in and say manager, then perhaps I might have a different understanding of this whole dynamic. But the club brought it in as a head coach, which means that I am giving you the tools. I understand what you want to do. It will be a process, but you have to work and you have to earn time. Even Amorim, and I'll say it again, when Amorim was signed, Amorim was the one who also admitted he has to win time, right? Then he came after earlier this season and he said he realized that the process to get the team to where he wanted to be will take a little bit longer because of X, Y, and Z, right? So he has to adapt to his players. He understands that now that we say, right? So this would have come based on conversations. I think the issue with Amorim is when he was told, hey, listen, we're not getting results. It's hard for me to invest more money, right? It was always told for Xerxes to leave, for Ugarte to leave. I don't know why other playing as though other didn't hear when we were linked to people like this guy from Atletico Madrid. What's his name again? The English boy.
Conor Gallagher.
We was linked to Gallagher. We was linked to João Gomez. We was linked to Semenyo. So why it is a little operating as though we was linked to nobody.
Came out and said he going City.
Yeah, but the point
is, we're not saying no.
Is at the point in time when the board was saying, okay, let's see how it's going here, the plans were to bring in players. So if Xerxes had to leave, we were bringing in players. But then when they saw that this thing wasn't looking good, we talked to you about trying to adapt your system. You're showing us that you're not going to play a back four. we pull back.
Right,
I
but
really-
so
I
why is
think-
the sense of hiring a manager? You know he played this formation, right? When he was at Sporting, when Amorim take over Sporting, right? Sporting did not win the title for 20 years. When he came in, he built that team and he got rid of 27. I could go and find it. He got rid of 27 players. He changed that whole team. Then Sporting won the league. They went that whole season unbeaten. And he stopped power play. I think that is why they brought him. And he did come at United and he did that. He get rid of the toxic players. He stopped that power play with no player getting plenty money and nobody bigger. Because that is why they brought him, right? And they brought him with he played this 3-4-3 formation. Them know that when they bring him.
Yeah, but
You can't tell me.
But what I'm saying, Christian,
Reem, I think Reem, let me just interject a second here. Because according to what Christian just said, Dan, this club has backed Amorim, you know. This club has not bad talk, quite the opposite. This club has consistently put out saying the backing him. Reem, I think a key point to all this is to note when the club spoke to him. When did the club speak to him? After that Wolves game, because that was deplorable. I think we forgetting that part, you know. They didn't tell him a word, you know. All that shit what was going on, all that nonsense the team was playing, they didn't tell him a word, you know. You see that Wolves game, and I thought it was just me alone, but that Wolves game hurt everybody hard because, dog, it's stinking Wolves. They were shit, dog, and we can't beat Wolves. Dog, we watching football whole season, then. Dog, Sour Jablate could beat Wolves. And I hire you. And this is the part what I'm not getting from people. I hire you. You can't beat the bottom team and I can't have a word with you. But that is madness. I hire you. If I hire you and I see all you can't even beat the Wolves, then you telling me I can't have a word with you, coach. Maybe we need to try other things. Nah, dog, don't do me that. Don't do me that. Don't do me that. I don't care what and how we spin this thing. Dan, Amorim has not done a good job. I hear Christian trying to tell me that sacking him wasn't the solution. So then what the hell is the solution, boy? Just leave him and let me go down to 15th again, or that is the solution? Come now, man, all you. Come now, man. Everything is about standards, Dre. You run a business by standards. Dan, we doesn't like to compare ourselves and watch other things, eh? But what Chelsea manager now win World Cup player. Where's the thing to win?
Club
World Cup. And dog, they fire him. And
Yeah,
he
but
wasn't fit.
Yeah, but
And
Chef,
they fire him this season.
he went
Why?
the Conference League too. That is not a
And the
a big
Conference League too.
Yeah, but
and
that
the
is not a
fire him.
big. No, but he
And
leave,
the
you know.
fire him. So we're trying to tell me, because Manchester has been in such a mess, we have no standards again. We're just going to allow things to go by because you know what? We understand the team in a mess and it's not an overnight process. But as again, we said a million times on this podcast here, that is okay. It's not okay. But if we losing, let we see direction. Let we see that we're doing everything possible to improve. Can we honestly sit here and say Amorim was doing that? Nah, man, nah.
And a lot of people can't use the excuse of giving him time, because you saw Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, and Liverpool. A lot of people don't remember this here, but Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's first couple of games under Liverpool's first couple of games under Jurgen Klopp was not that great, but Liverpool fans were not up in arms because they saw the direction Klopp was looking to take the club.
It
It was just a few tweaks a few silly mistakes that some of the players were making that had Liverpool losing on the bounce. But the football and the fluidity and the chemistry was there. Lo and behold, they trusted in Klopp, and Klopp was able to bring them a
No, but
Champions League and the Premier League
they
as well
gave him
too.
time. Klopp takes 7 years before he win the Premier League. You know, Arteta.
No,
Arteta
but
takes
you're not listening, Kristen. You're not listening. You're not listening. Liverpool was not the best of clubs when it came to winning, but the fans saw a direction
Amorim,
as to where
did
Liverpool was
Amorim
going.
inherit a good when he get the team from Ten Hag? We was absolute garbage. We was in a real shit position in terms of how much money we spend and the amount of players on big contracts and stuff like that.
Okay, so when Ruben Amorim inherited the club from Ten Hag, it was in a shit position. What position is the club in now?
But we better off than last season.
Oh! Jesus Christ! Oh!
Okay, Chef. Wait. I can show you to go back to the beginning of the podcast for the season, right? And I show you when with all the signings, I think everybody was saying Manchester United, they're hoping for a top half finish. This is when we make signings. That everybody was a top half finish, right? Everybody was saying that, right? No, because how the Premier League competitive and everybody close by and thing, and we could have won games, and you could have see he made wrong decision and thing. But his objective was European football this season, and he's still in European spot. Last season, when he take over, we are 15th in this position. We are 15th. We're 6th right now. And you're correct. What we just 4 points above 40. But what I'm saying, we still better off than last season. Last season we had 19 points, right? At this point in the season, now we have 31.
Nah, Christian, you can't. Clearly, earlier in the podcast, you were listening to when, yes, we're 6, but also we could have gone through a whole run of games for Arsenal, Man City, and we could be back in the same bottom 10 if we had to lose those games, So some people are looking at it from one perspective where, yeah, we're 6, right? But that 6 could easily turn into a 10th, a 12th, or that could have been a 3rd place tied with Aston Villa or Man City. You never know, right?
No,
so you got to look at it at both ends, right?
The Bournemouth game, people was like that one of the best performers, right? Where we come back from it was 3-2 and come and score 4 and then we come back. It was a good game for the neutrals, right? Watching that thing. Against this next team we wasn't bad. I agree the Wolves performance was shit. Right? But it had plenty games. We played well and we lose the game and we draw because of errors and things.
All right, but Kristen, I could just step in here as well. Now, what we're looking for is consistency, because even under Ten Hag, I could tell you we had some blinders. We had some real good games. All right, so you see the one-off games where we could say it was a real good game, it was probably the best game we ever played, in terms of performance. I could say the same thing for Oli. I could say the same thing for Ten Hag. But the end result is that, you're not seeing the progress and the improvement of the team, because of the levels of inconsistency, right? I mean, I could challenge you to go back and Ten Hag reign and go back and Oli reign, and we could point out games where we play real good.
We did not improve in set pieces. We were one of the best teams at set pieces. We had one of the best teams at defending set pieces. We did improve. We did improve in plenty areas, even in pressing. When you watch Amorim team press against Ten Hag, it was better. If you look at how the fitness of the team, it is better. Watch Casemiro under Eric Ten Hag. Watch Casemiro under Amorim. Watch Bruno stats under.
I got a rebuttal for you. I got a rebuttal for you, Kristen.
What is our?
Let me.
Go ahead. Because we think the same way.
Well, I don't think you and I think the exact same thing, but I got a rebuttal for Kristen, right? During this season, Manchester United plays, let's say, this match here, right? Can you predict the Manchester United that will show up for the next match? Can you predict the performance that will be displayed by the current crop of players from Manchester United in the next match? Can you predict that? Do you know which Manchester United will show up?
Yeah, but is that the player's fault or the manager's fault?
Christian, this in politics. I'm not.
No, but that's asking.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys where you answer a question with a question. I just want to know straight up. When Manchester United comes on match day, do you know which Manchester United is going to show up?
No, you don't.
But what
I'm saying is that is down to the players too.
Since we are about quoting stats, and you quoted that we improve in set piece play and all that kind of thing. What is the stat of us conceding goals?
We're one of the worst teams.
Okay. Okay,
chef. We're one of the highest scoring teams too, and that is because they spend on attack.
Bro, so that it doesn't matter. It balances off itself, because even if you're scoring plenty and not able to defend, it don't matter. That's my point. So it's not an improvement. It's an improvement because we have what?
The manager wanted a midfielder in the summer. He wanted a midfielder in January too, and they're not going to give him. So
you got to look at both sides of the coin. You can't just analyze a situation and look at it from the positive point of view and not look to criticize it as well too, right? The definition of logic is looking at both sides, right?
No, but listen, I'm not saying he had good results and he shouldn't get sacked. No, what I am saying is.
But you actually said that though.
No. What I am saying is he did what a year. You cannot judge a manager on a year. Well, look at Arteta. Arteta, there's 7 years, right? It had 3 seasons. He come second, right? He could probably win the league this season. There's the best side in the Champions League, but he got time to build a team to think. Ferguson takes 7 years before
Don't do Ferguson.
What was you're using Arteta, right? Arteta is there 7 years. What was Arteta finishes for the first 4 years?
8, and then he came 8 like 3 times.
What? Quiet. 8. What else?
He came 8 like 3 times, and then he came 4th, and then he comes second.
Right, and also to add to that, one thing was consistent with Arteta. The way Arteta was playing from day one is, you know what is better with Arteta now is that he has better players. Arteta style of football and change.
Right, but if you watch, he built that side. Teams was choosing Arsenal over other teams because of him. He built a philosophy. He made them great again. As in, players wanted to go Arsenal over United. That was never. I think he did that.
And I was gonna say this later on because of Reem thing, but as you mentioned it, this is going to be my only say on this particular topic, because I want it to be clear where I stand with it. You see, philosophy, I want to be clear. The only thing I don't agree with, I don't like Gary Neville. I find he's an imps. But the one thing Gary Neville said today, and I agree 1000% with, and the board has to take blame too for this. I don't care who manager come in Manchester United. I don't care what player come in Manchester United. Manchester United DNA is aggressive, attacking football. Full stop. Barca does play the way, the tiki-taka, no matter who is the manager. Real Madrid, you cannot go and coach Real Madrid and play boring football. No matter, even you could win and they're going to fire you. I don't care who is the manager. If you can't come and play that kind of football, you deserve to get fired.
That's why Del Bosque and Jose Mourinho, they last longer.
Bro, what is the reason all of us is Manchester United fans? The style of football we grew up watching. All of us is this kind of...
Mourinho had that Real Madrid side playing football, He made them the first team to cross 100 points, and there was the top highest point team.
But yes. But
what happened to him?
Crossing 100 points means I could win.
And what happened to him?
I could win 1-0 every single game, 2-1.
And what happened to him? What were the Real Madrid fans saying? He was gone.
You know,
That's
Mourinho,
my point.
guys,
you know Jose Mourinho. You know Jose Mourinho is a bigger legend, a bigger Manchester. You know Jose Mourinho loves Manchester United more than Real Madrid and Chelsea.
let me
Ask
just
yourself that question, like.
let me just get some
Nah,
comments.
he Chelsea the favorite team.
Let me just get some comments, guys. Right? But the conversation going good. Mylon on the inside, good night. Thanks for joining. Lion on the inside as well.
Good night.
Right, Christopher on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining. Adrian saying here, the man put the nail in his own coffin. All right. Dwayne Allen on the inside, thanks for joining. He's saying the board and owners did not back him. All right. Lion saying here, Philip of United, Ineos, and Glazers need to come together and sell the club because they've made many missteps.
I agree 1,000%.
All right. Christopher saying here, Amorim is the type of manager you have to spend to acquire a team to play his style. Ineos was never prepared to do that. It was a poor match.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. The finances of the club and the current playing staff calls for a manager who plays counter-attacking football. Unfortunately, the fan base will not accept that. How does this club go forward? And that's a very good question, Christopher. All right. Lion saying here, the same players people were complaining about, all they want him to make better. The man get 5 signings, LOL. All right. Christopher saying here on the sacking, Ineos made promises to Amorim they did not live up to. However, Amorim did not have the credit in the bank to bump his gum like he did. All right. Lion saying here, I feel he had enough and said those things to get fired. All right. They didn't fire Maresca. He asked to leave.
Leave. Yeah, he leave.
All right. Rice saying here, correct. He got the okay to speak to other clubs. Who are you talking about, guys?
That Maresca.
Okay.
One of the reasons they say that he was in talks to replace Pep at City.
Okay. Javed on the inside, thanks for joining. He's saying here, the club that keeps giving even after Christmas. I thought numb was numb, but like it's different level of numb. I personally hope this one worked. All right. Lion saying you're moving like Ineos towards right, saying here we are better off than last season, but the main issue is we still don't have a proper squad. Even with the players missing, that current team is not good enough. I'm not even talking for the manager. All right. Arun on the inside, good night. Thanks for joining. Saying the only time United Strand will get a haircut is when he reach old age and his hair start to fall out.
that man can get dreadlocked by the time.
He had to reverse that. He had to just suck it in and just say, you know what, forget that, right?
That man go down turn to Rastafari just now.
Right, so here we still have players like Luke Shaw, Dallo, etc. I'm still looking for success. All right, we shouldn't even be talking about Klopp and Pep because them fellas got time to make it successful. All right, Alex Roach on the inside, thanks for joining. We need to get these owners out, whatever it takes. Can the fan base do it? No, they can't.
They can't.
All right, Javed saying here, it will cut now.
That's too many sheiks and them that own this club.
Yeah, new interim manager bounce. All right, user 5K, thanks for joining. All right, Surin J2 on the inside, thanks for joining. He's saying his selection process was wrong along with his substitution. And when we won a game, the other game, he changed the team. So his selection and he wasn't consistent. Everton, Leeds, and Wolves were games to be won. Maguire is supposed to start every game. He's slow, but he makes a big difference in the box, both defending and scoring in the opposition box.
Remember Maguire?
Yeah. When Fergie was there, our bench always had players we could pull off the bench and get goals, just what Arsenal has now. For me, Ruben has to go. All right. User 5K saying here, I would like to join because I'm a big Man United fan and I know every transfer rumor. All right.
Move on from that comment, Ring. Come
on. Christopher saying here, fellas, don't be ridiculous. Barcelona and Real Madrid have an absolute devotion to their football. They are footballing institutions. United is far from that. All right.
That's a bud. No, Reem. Don't bypass
no.
Reem, Reem, don't fly to the comments like that, because that's a bullshit comment, Reem. Don't do that.
What? So which
Go ahead.
Manchester United?
Go ahead.
So which
Well,
Manchester United?
Another Glazers is our business. It's about money and
Bro, this is not about the owners, you know. We are talking about Manchester men trying to we Manchester United fans, and we don't find that our club is a footballing institution, even though we should right now. So then what we back in the club for? Because it is some good.
No, but if I get Christopher's point here, Chef, and Kristen, I think Kristen hit the nail on the head there. The owners is not football people. You know, over the years, the owners hasn't been football people. They didn't put football first. They put money first. So they would sign players that will bring revenues.
no,
right?
but that's what I said. We sign a set of average players for big money, and give us set of average players big salary,
contracts. Yeah, big
and
salary.
stuff like that. It was
Yeah,
just
it don't matter how you look at it.
No, but-
Grand scheme of
Phil,
things that
no, but
Manchester
Phil.
United is one of the biggest football
Yeah.
clubs in the world.
No, but football, we are a football brand, right? I think we now trying to get back to being a football club, right? I can't disagree with the statement because we far from Madrid and Barcelona in terms of being fully devoted to football. You know, I think we have some doing, guys. I really think there's a
I can't
I don't agree with that. I respectfully don't agree with that, but okay.
Fair. But I think our owners, you know, have prioritized other things than football in the past.
And that we agree 1000%.
And I think this is exactly what this point is talking about, because if you look at the lengths, what Barcelona hierarchy and what Real Madrid hierarchy will do for football, our hierarchy don't do it for football.
Well, you had to give me examples of what Barcelona and Real Madrid doing in terms of like for football that Manchester United is not doing.
Look, you really do not all them levers Barca pull just to make sure that they have players to play and maintain their level and to remain competitive. What example you want again, Phil?
But Barcelona is a poorly run.
Barcelona have no money, still doing things to get players inside to make sure
exactly.
their football is sustainable.
So so we're saying that it's a poorly run club, but football-wise, it's still a good run club. That's what we're saying. I'm asking.
No, what we're saying here is over the years, Real Madrid and Barcelona have always put football first. Man United has not been. I think what Ineos probably trying to do now is to get back to that place, but I don't think the Glazers had football first.
You had to dig deeper on this comment here because I can't fathom what.
No, but what he's trying to say is at Barca and Real Madrid, they have to win. They need to win the league. They need to be in champion. At Man United, we want to be there, but if we not there, how the owners see it, it's nothing. If we're not there, it's nothing. We basically become Arsenal of the past.
But that is who though? Is that
It's the owners. It's the owners. That's what I'm saying. It's the owners.
But football club is more than the owners. It's about the fan base, players as well too.
But if you look at the comment talking about the hierarchy, not the fan base. That's what we're talking about. There's the hierarchy.
Go back to the comment. Let me see again.
Go back to the comment. Let me see that.
Where it say hierarchy. Oh, that's a
where it say that.
Well, if you say he would have specified if he meant fans. Come on, guys.
No, oh God, we fans love the club and love football, but what we could do, we don't really do anything. Is the owners who run the club.
But I don't want to leave the agenda today, right? So let me just get through the comments and let me get back to the program, right? So Christopher saying, and by the way, Arteta did change his style. He was extremely defensive at the start. Right, under the Glazers, we are a business, right? Right, saying here we are one of the biggest investment companies in the world, right? Stop it now, man. Right, I don't know.
I'm still confused by these comments.
It have Sanchez playing piano, and you want to catch feelings because I'm pointing out the truth, right? Barca will tell Lewandowski don't score, so they don't have to pay him a bonus. Mark, it's time to go and sleep. It's time to go and sleep. Right. Okay. So I think I get Christopher's point, right? Surin saying here, I said that the Glazers is to be blamed for where we are today. Can anyone tell me how and why a big club like Man U is in debt? For me, Glazers need to go. Right? No, I don't think anybody disagree with you on that, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
That was without saying.
Nobody disagrees with that, but like at the same time, Real Madrid is a club who have not treated their legends as of recently, with a proper sending off and what's not. Barcelona still owe wages to many of their players, including the same Lionel Messi as well too.
Yeah.
Barcelona is charging some of their fans to get married at Camp Nou to raise funds to get their club out of debt. So I'm trying to figure out where is this comment coming from. Anyway, we move off of that comment. We move off.
No, because at the end of the day, Phil, they're winning. So nothing else matters, apparently.
Jesus on the inside, thanks for joining. Saying we are an institution, but just not doing the right things for football, but at the top in business. Right? KPIs, jersey sales, profit, etc. Right? Kishore Basde on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying pain by pain. Right? Because I'm saying here, what control the fans have, gents. Right?
Nothing.
James Scott on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying long and short, the shit that the owners and leadership has shown since taking over the club, even to the back end of Sir Alex Ferguson's period, is what is killing us, right? And I still stand on the hill that Fergie saw this falling apart and left because of my opinion. All right. Javed, last two comments. Javed saying here, are we here because of fan complacency and acceptance of lower standards? Real and Barca fans would not have been as tolerant as we are. All the talk about boycott and protests, but stadium filling every week, so nothing will change. And the owners know that. The owners know that. Right? I think the best our fan base ever do was the time we went into the stadium and mash up thing. I remember that? We were supposed to play Liverpool. Yeah, that was the most effective, standoff we ever had. But boy, we love football too much, boy. Ryan saying here, and in Trinidad, we can't use our national stadium to host. All right, Alia. So I want to move on, right? So we're talking about. So Amorim is no more, right? And we gotta agree to disagree on certain aspects of his tenure here, right? Notwithstanding that, in my opinion, Ineos and Berrada and they're not innocent, right? They're not innocent.
Definitely
right?
not.
So let me get that clear. I'm not here to say that everything is on Amorim, but I kind of in support of the sacking, right? So we had to talk about, the replacements, your thoughts on the replacements. Now, because of how this happening, based on the reports we're hearing, we're looking at an interim for the rest of the year, and then next season we go into a permanent. So the interim names are jumping up right now, guys. Is Fletcher supposed to take charge of the Burnley game? Then we have Carrick name jumping up. We have Van Nistelrooy name jumping up, and Ollie say he would be interested in coming back. Right, so I'm gonna get your thoughts on that, guys. Also, a set of names jumping up for permanent position here. You have Glasner from Palace, England manager Thomas Tuchel, Areola from Bournemouth, De Zerbi from Marseille.
De Zerbi.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this name that Sir Jim
Southgate.
Ratcliffe.
No.
Not even Southgate. Christian, hear this name only that the owner, the part owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, like Pochettino, Marco Silva, and Ancelotti.
Xavi.
Right? And Xavi Hernandez. Right? So, guys, what are your thoughts on the touted replacements for the interim and permanent? Kristen. And who you think, who you would like to see for those two positions?
No, first of all, I just say that one of our two best players is Ahmad and Mbemo, and anybody come now and they play in a different formation, the both of them are going to start. But In terms of the style of football, I'll probably say De Zerbi. He plays nice attacking football.
But in the
That's
interim,
where we
though.
want it. Or the
In the
interim.
though. Yeah.
I would say Al Fletcher there, he doing very well with the academy. Let him get a shot at it. I mean, there's the academy players on the bench. You might see two son playing, but while saying he's doing a very good job with the academy, I think the academy first or something, and they're beating everybody. Give him a chance.
Yeah. Chef, what are you saying?
Fletch. I think it should be Fletch till the end of the season. I don't want any permanent manager right now. Take all their time and properly scout out the manager that's going to play the Manchester DNA style of football. I don't want no 3-4 Glasner and all that shit. Forget that. So, but back to the interim. I asked this question today. Who gonna be Fletch assistants?
I think they say some one of the next youth coaches, will be his assistant or something like that.
You better bring Roy Keane. Let Roy Keane hit them and some boot standing in the head.
I think them methods old school and them think they work now, right? So people are still Roy Keane. This generation responds to
that kind of coach like it. So I would like to see him have a proper backup with him, proper coaches, men who actually know Manchester and who just not pundits and talking about a shit, but actually willing to come and be part of the rebuild process and the style. So as I say, Fletch is my pick. As for a full, that one I gotta get back to better, because to be quite honest, none of them names on them, none jump out and say, hey, yeah, he could come Manchester, because I swear all these managers and them just scare me, and the way this team does play, I don't even know who. I would be lying if I say that fella does play nice football. He could come and change Manchester. I can't answer that, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think we get burned. We get burned too much. Ten Hag was the next one, the hot one. The hot one, they come here and cave. And Amorim come here and cave. You know, so it's a real, the jersey, this position is too much, boy. I don't know.
No, but it's set up for managers to fail in. Because when you look at it, look at City, right? When Pep went City, Pep had money to buy whoever he wanted. When players then perform, or I think he get rid of them and he buy more. So
but Christian, the problem is, I don't think Man United have that kind of money to spend on players like that. And this is one of the reasons why they have so much charges over their head that nobody want to touch, because they know they were dabbling in nonsense. That's why they access to so much money. Man United not going to spend that kind of money. So this is why, and I want to really grasp this. This is why the club is really finding the role. They're saying head coach now.
This is what I said. So if they looking at a manager, you look at a manager who going to use the team he have, going to use the academy. That was it. So hiring Amorim, you went for a manager who played in a certain formation and he want to build a certain style, and then you're not going to back and bring a manager who you want to see a certain style of football, who with certain tactics he using whatever squad he have and thinking in the academy. I think you don't want to bring somebody who and get them a big contract and then they're not going to get the players they want, and it's the whole process over again.
My thing is this with Amorim, and I hear what you're saying, but I just felt as though Amorim could have done better, in spite of the fact that he needed X, Y, and Z players to play the best football, which is always an ideal that don't be realistic. I haven't seen where Amorim used the players that he has properly to the best to get the best out of everybody. Right?
I agree with that.
No, No, but you're correct. But let me be real. Any top modern day manager is mostly checkbook managers. They go to at a team and they actually buy a squad.
All right, let me ask you something. Right? Xavi Alonso, Real Madrid manager, he gained all his success at Bayern Leverkusen playing at 3 at the back. He went to Madrid and he had to change.
Yeah, but there was a point in time he was close to the sack.
But he had to change. The point I'm making is he had to change. He changed.
When he was close to the sack.
He was real close to the sack.
I wouldn't say he was close to the sack. He was under fire. But I wouldn't say he was close to the sack. But what I'm saying is he
was under pressure, but he wasn't close to the sack. I think when
he was never close to the sack at Real Madrid.
When he lost to Manchester City, I think that's when
he was falling out.
It never had nobody was calling for his head. Listen to me, just like Manchester United, you're always under pressure at top clubs if you're not getting wins. And he started off kind of slow, the was winning, and then as you at that City loss, raised little thing. But close to the chop, never.
No, but he was
Real Madrid doesn't have nobody close to the chop, you know. Real Madrid is chop one time, you know. It's not close to the chop and dangling. It's either we done with you, them don't play.
Yeah. I want to get Phil in on this and then I'll go to the comments. So Phil, in terms of, the interim options that have been presented, which one you think might be the best fit? And if you want to, vent your suggestion for permanency next season.
I feel a bit more relaxed because Chef took my answer because I was thinking I don't know who will be the full-time manager who will take over, but for interim, yeah, you can definitely let Darren Fletcher take over the wheel from now until the end of the season. But I literally don't know what manager comes in, what he is going to do for this club, right? I literally don't know. So Darren Fletcher until the end of the season, and then we'll see what happens when Darren Fletcher leaves, or who knows? Darren Fletcher could shock us all and then become the full-time manager at Manchester United. So, but until then, let's see what Darren Fletcher can do, right?
If Fletcher come, and next thing you see Manchester going at 10 game unbeaten, and Manchester finish in the top 3 and win a cup. He have a fight. He have a show to get permanent work.
The name in the hat. If he could, I guess, in the top. If the man could guess top 5, the name in the hat, right? Yeah. That man will that need a haircut. He will get a haircut twice. That's all we see.
He got one haircut in the bag.
I would tell you before you move on, Reem, the Manchester United hearted man would love to see Fletcher do well and become the permanent manager. Real talk. It would be so, after all the crap we've been through, it would be something else to see Fletcher steer this team till the end of the season and do really good to the point that his name in the hat. I'm just saying that. Not saying it will be so, not saying it could happen, but just saying it would be a real good look.
Yeah. Right, saying here whether we playing good or not, that stadium sold out. All right. Christopher saying here, where did that Barca debt come from? Building the squad. Where did the United debt come from? The owners fattening their pockets. It's a big difference. All right. Lion saying here, bring Ted Lasso.
The Barca debt came from building the squad.
Yeah, the money needs to pay for the players and
big buyers.
They went broke for Lewandowski, Rafinha, and somebody else.
Yeah.
Neymar signing.
They spend money they didn't have for players, and then they find themselves in a real debt.
Yeah. Okay, because I just saying in my mind, most of their team is come up from the academy.
Now them spend money on other players.
Chef,
like the real
them
big
pay. one
No.
something.
I know
for
the
Neymar.
salaries to pay. I know the
Remember how much they spent for Coutinho?
Dembele, Coutinho,
Coutinho.
Neymar. It's a whole set of Griezmann.
Barca
It's millions,
spare Real
over
Madrid.
100.
Dembele.
Yeah, them spent 100 million from Dortmund for here, no?
Over 100 million.
Yeah, and
Neymar
sell
was
it for
over 100.
nothing. And sell it for
Coutinho was
nothing.
over.
Griezmann is the next one.
Griezmann. Yeah, Griezmann.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lions in here, they need to take their time and make that decision. Yes, yeah. But I think I don't know, but I just feel as though, they should learn from the Amorim appointment in various ways. And one I will want to suggest is that Prem proven thing. Take a manager that from the Prem that might be a little more knowledgeable of the Prem.
Who has had experience in the Prem?
Yeah, I'm going to take long to learn, and he was still struggling. All right. So let's see. Javed saying here, no one playing back three, no one playing in the back, no one playing three in the back coming. Fletch will do well, and I think he can finally be the past player that could work. High intelligence and simple football, well-respected figure across the club. Definitely not a passion merchant. And Fletcher was always an intelligent player, but I want to say nothing before I let him prove.
Yeah, but let me just ask this: if them bring back Ole, what are they going to do?
I don't know. I feel that bridge burn already, but I don't think Ole could come back, boy.
Come back to do what?
I don't feel Ole could come back.
Come back as an assistant coach?
No, they're looking at what I'm saying. They're looking at somebody just till the end of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a possibility.
I don't think so.
I could never believe Manchester will bring back the faster bring back Mourinho as an interim coach and Ole.
Nah, I ain't know about that Mourinho thing, Chef, right?
Nah.
I don't know about that Mourinho thing.
Right. You see how remote that is? That is how I feel it. Then what's the reason for bringing back Ole? To do what?
But
interim. Look, Chelsea do it with Lampard. They sack him
twice.
and then
Twice.
That's what I'm saying. So it is a possibility.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a very remote possibility.
I prefer give Carrick the shout, for the thing. Yeah.
Carrick who don't get fired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Fletcher had no experience managing no senior team. He played with us at a little
right. But he did right now. I'm willing to give him a chance.
Yeah, he did, but all right. Kishore saying here,
the way Carrick managed was it Birmingham?
No,
Middlesbrough. No, but he did well with them, He did well with them.
He did well with them for 2 seasons, and then after
no, but he was lost any players. I think
so he did well until he wasn't doing well, right? That's what we said.
Yeah, Chef. He had a club that.
Listen. It's a simple question.
Crystal making a good point.
Until he wasn't doing well.
Crystal making a good point.
If you're lost in your players and thing, you're not going to be better. You're going to be worse.
But then that means he's not that good a coach. Any manager who lost, any manager who not able to keep his team together, you're not that good, bro.
No,
just
but
saying.
Okay, if you carry Pep to one of them side, he can't sign away. You feel them go. You feel players who cannot hold the ball and knock that football going to play Pep football. Never. They're never going to play that.
Well, let me ask the question: How Sir Alex do after losing Beckham, Maroon, and Ronaldo? He fall off.
Yeah, but he was at a big club. He could have signed players. Or they're still on signing point. Middlesbrough is not a good team.
Let me just get you the
so there was a good team for 2 seasons.
But he had them, but he had players, and there was losing players. So they come. Nah, man.
They're playing me, Kristen. They're playing me. Let me move on, right?
Let me move on.
Right. So what Kishore was saying here is, who will coach youth squads that are doing well? It's a business after all. Would the owners jeopardize the youth league setup? The senior team is always the priority, so I mean, right, saying here, I agree with Chef. I can't trust none of them, so I can't decide either. And there's the coaching option he's talking about, right? Christopher saying here, the club needs to decide the direction we are going. The players being brought need to reflect that City prepared the club for Pep's arrival. United still has a patchwork of players that don't fit together in any system. All right. Samuel, thanks for joining. All right. Thanks for joining.
Agreed.
All right. Lion saying interim Fletcher end of season, that's pressure. All right. Lion saying here, but apparently Fletcher only gets in 2 games and they bring in someone, possibly Carrick. All right.
Okay.
Samuel saying here, I need Man United to bring Zidane at Manchester coach to prove that's something of playing. All right. Thanks for your comment, man. But Zidane in line for France, right?
Zidane taking over the France job after World Cup. So that's
I could ask a question, and maybe it's a real stupid question, but I'm gonna ask it even, what did Zidane do to make the whole world convinced he's a big coach?
He coached a World 11 team.
Brother man, no, listen. Wait.
I got answer that. I got let Ring go through, but I got answer that.
First things first, 2 things, right? Dobby and Zidane. That's first. Second.
I'm not doing Zidane. I'm just answering question.
Because
the only team I ever see him coach is a big time Real Madrid squad.
Right. So no, hold on. Zidane was junior. He was second to Ancelotti with our Real Madrid team. Right. Then he went down to the academy, and he was winning with the academy. Right. Then he came up. I know what I'm talking about. Right?
Brother, I even disturb you.
I'm watching your face too now. I'm watching your face.
Because I have my rebuttals ready, but I'm listening to you, bro.
And then he came up, and the simple thing that made Zidane so successful, the Real Madrid team, is what made Sir Alex Ferguson so successful over the years. The man was a proper man manager. Right? He knew how to manage egos. That team had plenty egos. And Zidane knew how to get the best out of those players playing together, and that's why they were successful. It was no big
for back to back. That's not
easy.
Yeah, but
he
had a World 11 team, and they could have won trouble.
Listen.
You ever heard of the Galacticos? The Galacticos ever went back to back? Galacticos never even made it out of the round of 16.
Exactly. Never. So don't make it look as though having the best players in the world just automatically means that you're going to win titles, partner. The man doing 4 years on the bombs.
It don't look like that.
4 years on the bombs. The man deserves credit for that, partner.
He came back to the job and they sacked him, and he came back and it wasn't working.
He did not get sacked. He left.
Right, but it wasn't working because he didn't have a good squad.
What you talking about?
When he came back into the job, right? There wasn't any top 2. There was 3rd or something, and he leave the job.
I can't recall it. I had to check that back.
When he leave, right?
The circumstances under which Zidane left, it wasn't because the team was performing poorly and he gets sacked. That is not what happened.
No, but it had a point there when he went and he leave, right? They had hired somebody, and then he came back as an interim, and there wasn't, and he leave again.
Right, because the arrangement was interim, Christian.
Nah, he wasn't.
When he came back that practice, we had to beg him to come back as the interim, and he agreed to come back strictly on an interim basis. I remember that.
Zidane is very calculated, and that is why he went back into Madrid, because he knew where he wanted to go. He won that France walk.
Yeah, he wanted to keep himself open for that France walk. That's why he didn't. That's why the second time around he didn't take it permanent. I actually remember that.
Right. So here, Javed saying I can't blame the club for wanting to define the coach-manager lines. The Ten Hag lesson there to be taken. Build a team in one-man vision. Invest in that direction, and then half the squad has to go on loan because it can't work for any other manager coming in. We were heading down the same road with Amorim. My question is how Mbumo and Cunha feel about running wings now. So who they crossing to? All right. Kishore saying here, Ole deja vu. All right. Christopher saying here, what do you think about Laurent Blanc as an option? All right. Interim or permanent? because them fellas and them
Laurent
fellas
Blanc,
out of the
Laurent
game.
Blanc,
As far as I can see, them fellas out of the game so long, but
and Ruben and Laurent Blanc still coaching.
yeah, I can't tell when last I see he coaching.
Exactly.
Right? Lion calling the players that Barca spend a fortune on, right? Neymar, Dembele, right? And he asking about Areola, right? Right, saying here, bring back Ole to smile when we win or loss. We play shit and we'll just smile. Go out there and what Ole line was, go out there and express yourself.
Yeah, just run.
Yeah, Eric Lewis on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining. Saying whoever get the job will want full control. However, it appears that Ineos just want a coach, and I think they've made that pretty clear in 2024. Eh?
If they're bright, they could go after Luis Enrique. He win the treble at PSG.
You feel he win PSG, right?
But he never played any Prem, and he I sure he'll be up for a thing.
But again, I think we should go Prem proven. That's just me.
No, but he was in line. He wanted the job before he went PSG, eh?
Man United?
Yeah.
Okay. Eric saying, I heard Kobe miraculously training on the grass now. Don't do the man that. The man was really injured, bro. Don't do him that. All they wicked. All they always want to send agendas by. Right? Almost feel like he's scared to coach another team because he might spoil his reputation.
Who's that?
Right? That's Zidane he talking about.
Zidane?
Yeah. Eric saying here, let's be honest, I love Zizou, but he had already made team and the GOAT. Man management can only get you so far.
Lord, go back to the Galacticos.
Or underestimating the importance of man management. And we making it look as though Zidane didn't have a game plan. That team was playing so good. You can't just play down to the players.
I agree with I hear what you all tell me and I agree. You can't just make a fantasy team and win, but I'm not lying to tell you, Jed. I just find
but that is
if he could win with them players he had, then he was a real shit though.
Let me
Well,
see
look good, we.
real. Let me see.
Hey, I wasn't
real
just watch
football.
Angelotti raise the eyebrows, so them losing 2-1, and he just raised one of the eyebrows, so and Real Madrid winning 3-2.
Let me see who's more real football.
Let me be real.
Let's Pep Guardiola went to Bayern Munich as well too, and did not win a Champions League. Where Bayern Munich, don't remember that, and Bayern Munich was one of the top dogs in our European football, right? But let me see who can go back to Real Madrid of 2000 and 2003 with Roberto Carlos, Figo, the same
Beckham, Ronaldo, Zidane,
Fernando Hierro, Redondo, Casillas,
Helguera,
Raul, and who?
See, sometimes when you have a bomb in his
Casillas.
Who was the Morientes?
That squad was a bomb squad and they won the Champions League once, boy.
This squad had Antonio Cassano this squad was stacked. I
agree with you, bro. All I'm saying, though,
I responded to a comment where
let's fast forward a bit to what Zidane had now. What we call them names?
No, but the point he making, Chef, is and
I hear it and I respect the point. I'm not saying no. I even agree with it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, watch that team Zidane had.
Now you hear a bomb squad.
Yeah, for sure. Ronaldo, Di Maria, Ozil, Khedira, Pepe and Ramos, Marcelo at left back. I can't remember who was at right back. Carvajal, maybe? Yeah. The midfield was Toni Kroos, Casemiro, and Modric. Yeah, that was a bomb squad. But at the end,
Jesus Christ.
It's so sad, and that's when we have enjoyed talking about big teams, Man United, not in the conversation.
Nothing that's real sad to me, though, right? Yeah, and if you know how that does bother me.
Anyway, guys. Let me look to Rapid. Lion had the last comment. He's saying those times had some big teams. AC Milan was a top team. Barca was a top team. We had a top team. Yeah. But guys, so Fletcher's supposed to have his press conference tomorrow. So we'll be
looking forward to that.
Yeah. I know I was gonna start back to watch press conferences.
I go watch it.
Fletcher somebody I like too, and I really have been following him. Fletch quietly went about his business because he really, you could hear there's no the players who truly took this coaching thing serious. Fletcher's one of them.
Let me see how it goes. I mean, we all want Man United to be back on the top. We want Man United to just be a proper run club, do things right, and just, entertain your fans. We invest in plenty time and energy and money and everything now.
Stop stressing me. Stop stressing
Yeah,
me.
boy. Oh, gosh. I think we had enough therapy sessions last year for this year. So, we just want to have some good times. We want to talk about titles. We want to talk about all them kind of games where we blowing away teams.
Give me a little new manager, new interim bongs now.
Yeah, we want bongs. We ain't got bongs now. Yeah, boy, earlier.
Oh God, boy, give me a bong self now, boy. Jeez.
I could do it a bongs today. I could do it a new manager bongs.
I could do it a bongs, boy.
Yeah, for real. I could do that. So let me see. So guys, thanks again. Those in the comments, the panel, Simeon had to jump out, So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all in, all united. So guys, we're going to be here again on Wednesday to review that Burnley game. I think it couldn't be a better opponent for Fletcher. But then again,
yes.
Let me just hope Burnley come to spoil no party, right? We have to hit Burnley for about 4, right? Unanswered.
Unanswered.
So, guys, until then, have a good night and see you all on the next one.
Yeah, man.